Good morning, Your Honor. Stephanie Lambert.
Good morning. All right. This is an add-on to our docket today. Obviously, the court issued a bench warrant in this matter.
Attorney Stephanie Lambert appeared in a Michigan courtroom Thursday after turning herself in to resolve an outstanding warrant.
Lambert has appeared today on her own.
She was arrested in Washington, D.C. earlier this week following a bench warrant issued by a Michigan judge.
Her failure to appear in a criminal case where there are 4 felony charges that she's been indicted for. It's her 2 failure to appears that have caused this case to come to a screeching halt.
I'm going to sign order for DNA and fingerprinting.
Lambert is facing felony charges of improperly accessing voting equipment.
I'm in order that
She is accused of searching for evidence of a conspiracy to steal the 2020 election from former President Donald Trump.
That occurs.
Lambert later was released after posting bond.
Despite all of this, the law being misrepresented, the facts being misrepresented, I've now been in jail twice, strip search, which is insane.
So, bottom line is, we are where we are.
A pretrial hearing in Lambert's case is set for March 28th.
We're moving forward on the case. So I believe what's appropriate under these circumstances. I do believe.
Hello, welcome to Neighborhood News. Naked Truth News. Greg and Craig visit the studio.
Hi there.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Mark's here too. Mark and I are here too. So, hey, Greg, the Love Tour Greg is here again.
Yes.
The audience favorite.
Okay.
Yep, sit on up. You're the star of the show here.
Yes, it's Love Tour Greg, where love is the answer to absolutely everything.
I might turn the camera here, but you keep going. Yeah. Love Tour Greg's in the house, everybody.
That's right, baby. And love and power to the people defeat any army. Just remember that. Truth and justice are just children of love. So this is the Love Tour, where love is the answer to absolutely everything, personal and political. Anyway, so we got a lot of big news breaking over at Naked Truth News, and we're going to run through some of it very quickly. And we're going to start with the Stephanie Lambert trial. So you just played some of that clip yet or not?
Yeah, we just played that clip for everybody. That was our opener. And for folks who don't know, Greg is, so everybody knows Harry the Greek, Naked Truth News, Harry the Greek, or if you don't know, now you know. Harry the Greek at Naked Truth News has the best blog on the internet. He's always on top of the stories that nobody else is covering. And Greg is his chief correspondent out in the field.
I'm just a librarian.
Greg and Craig, we got Craig here also off on the mic. So if you hear another off mic voice, that'll be Craig. But Greg goes to all the trials and or not all of them, but definitely Harry covers a lot of cases, and Harry's not able to hit the road and get to the courts all the time, and so Greg is his main guy at the court. And this case will be 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. 8:30 a.m. will be the Stephanie Lambert case. And tell us a little bit about it. Tell us what's going on. I'm going to switch the TV here.
Well, I started covering this for Harry like 3 years ago, really. And it started at Michigan State University, where they had these servers where Connect Corporation was caught by the FBI security contractor changing our votes, not only here in Michigan, but also across America. And then it evolved into a bit much bigger web and network, and now it's a whole global cyber web coming out of Malaysia, out of the story that just hit. But it was fun because they packed up their offices. Connect Corporation. These are the professors now at Michigan State University, Eugene Yu, and Donna Wang, a whole bunch of other Chinese professors. Okay, and then his partner Mike Lee, who works at the Hong Kong Institute in Hong Kong, and Eugene Yu, who claims to be a good American citizen, actually runs the elections also for the Chinese Communist Party in China as well. So he's they're CCP tried and true. And of course, this is the weaponization of the government. It's the same attorney that you see in the Tina Peters case that President Trump highlighted as a cruel weaponization of government. This is the same attorney here from Petoskey, Michigan. And it's the same story, basically. Now, he's saying they're felonies. It's funny because Diddy just got convicted and he got like a few misdemeanors for all the things he did, but he requested to look at the voting machine. Oh, you damaged the voting machine, felony. Now, the state has no control over these. This is a totally bogus case because in his own emails, Brader, the appointed, not elected, elections official, said that that the counties have 100% ownership. They have nothing to do with the machines. That basically they even are allowed to sell the machines on Amazon or eBay or Facebook or anything for up to $500 if they want to just get rid of the machines. But so they have no authority over the machines, but now they claim a great injustice has been done because this woman looked for election fraud per the county, Antrim County. Now, everybody in America remembers Antrim County. They were the only people that allowed anyone to look at the voting machines. And now you have the weaponization of of the person that was elected to look at the voting machine. They're going after her, shoot the messenger. Never mind what, she actually found. Or, of course, we have the Secretary of State Benson here who said that if we even question the 2020 election, that she is coming after us and putting us in jail for life too. Just like she tried to put, I guess she did. I don't know how it ever went with the other 16 alternate electors. Gave them 7 felonies in life for questioning the election, right? So now that President Trump is the president and is proving that we know, and of course, in our neighborhood news studio, we had Addie Ads that was down there. How many votes was it when Addie showed up at the Elliott Center with the
the
Ferrari?
TCF Center in 2020? Yeah, that was the place.
Yeah.
That was the place.
No, but what was it, 375,000 votes or was it 750,000 votes that showed up at 3:45 a.m. with our news correspondent Addie Ads on the scene? Well, anyway, that was more hanky-panky. It's been going on all over the country, and we know it. But we really had it so nailed shut here because here we've got this Nate Kane, the cybersecurity officer for the FBI. He's a contractor, not an FBI employee, but he's contracted to do the cybersecurity for the FBI, who catches the Chinese changing our votes in real time. Okay, and secured the chief operating officer of Connect, Bradley Grant, okay, to roll over, and because he didn't understand what was going on either. And so he becomes a whistleblower. And so all of this stuff is to try and keep this story down. All the press has been keeping the story down. Michigan State and MLive and Detroit Free Press and Detroit News and Lansing Journal, they are all trying to keep this story down. And so, but the thing is, Eugene Yu was arrested at the airport in Okemos, where the LA prosecutors, the other half of the story, took Eugene Yu from the corrupt, crooked, treasonous FBI agents, okay? And the court cases went on in LA, and, of course, Hillary and her band of lawyer bandits always get involved. It's been this David Becker and all these guys all along. They're the ones fighting this to keep this information out. It's always Hillary, right? But it's been Hillary's attorneys that are fighting us on these things to have these things revealed. But now we find out today that the Library of Congress is in Malaysia, and that Eugene Yu wound up in Malaysia, just transferred, where now they have this idea of controlling all the elections in the whole world. There are always these globalists. We'll control all the elections in the whole world, and we'll rule the world, But, President Trump is the president now, and I think we can see that paper ballots are a much better way to go. But as you remember, caller too, Cliff Ironbeck, I believe, had the first video. I don't remember who had the first video, but it was corrupted paper ballot counters. So we have to watch those too. But definitely everything connected to the internet is connected at this point. And so it's really not a viable option, so.
Fascinating. Mark, what do you think about, should we?
Well, I was just curious, why Oakland County is where this is being litigated. Because kind of a burden to have to go clear to Oakland County for something that happened.
In Antrim County, where Bel Air, that's northern Michigan. That's God's Country. Very few people up there. And that's why they were the only place that stood up as patriots, the judge and everything. But no, they didn't do it there. And then we have the prosecuting attorney that 98% of the state police in Michigan voted no confidence in these two crooked leaders they have because they were destroying the evidence of all this election fraud, or the head guy in the state police. I don't want to know his name, but anyway, 98%, 75% of the state police responded to the survey. 98% said no confidence because of this story. And the same prosecutor that we'll be sitting in the courtroom with here on Monday, because this prosecutor, they had a witness, I'm sure a lot of you saw the videos, who talked about offices in Southfield and all over America where they were, bringing in all these fake votes. And the state police, were busting the local police and the local prosecutor, but were thwarted by the head guy at the state police, because we have Gretchen Whitmer, and remember, she gave a $306,000 grant to Eugene Ewan Connect, which has never been done before. Any software grant ever, out of the blue like a gift, and then she magically got elected. Now, I'm not saying there was a connection, a connection, but so this is the problem that we have, and so we have basically some very, very corrupt. Now, Benson is a billionaire. As all this comes out, remember, she can be sued personally. Civil RICO is what we're preaching at Naked Truth News. Learn how to sue these people personally. The government can't do it, okay? If your school board is harming you, if your teacher is harming you, if you're, if someone is taking a right, even according to the Supreme Court, is like your right to vote, you can sue them. And when this comes out in court, you're eligible for money. And, I'd like to see everyone sue Benson and, glean every last dollar out of that woman, because she's done great evil with Whitmer and all these different people, But, why are they so afraid of the evidence? I guess that's the question, And why is the newspapers, the news so afraid that they won't cover the story of Connect and, the trials out in LA that are going on related to Connect, and up and down out there? It's been back and forth.
Well, for folks in the area, in the Michigan area, or for folks, anybody who wants to be at this trial, this to me is almost like a Tina Peters trial that isn't getting as much attention as the Tina Peters, obviously. But Greg and Craig will be there at the courtroom in Pontiac, Michigan, Oakland County Circuit Court, Pontiac, Michigan, July 14th, 8:30 a.m. So that's this coming Monday. So just look for the Love Tour bus here. Greg's an easy guy to spot. So I don't think a lot of people are coming to this trial. This is not necessarily.
No, we've been only two attendees.
The only two attendees.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of like the public?
Yes.
Well, that's
or the news or anyone.
Tina Peters. I mean, a lot of people were at the Tina Peters stuff.
Right.
So if anybody wants to show their support for Stephanie Lambert or just connect with Greg and Craig, they will be at the courthouse, Oakland County Circuit Court, Pontiac, Michigan, July 14th, 8:30 a.m.
And if you are a news service, you can ask to tune in or something. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, that's all.
Do your thing. You can get permission. We had to get special permission with news passes to get in. So you might want to check into that. Now CBS is coming. So we can't wait to see the story that CBS is. I mean, what was her big crime? That she damaged a voting machine? We're not even going to use those voting machines anymore. They're all Dominion. We know what that means.
These are the two CBS, David Becker, Madeline Curtis.
The fact that you've got a Muskegon County prosecutor in Oakland County working on this, okay, but you have this GBI Strategies voter registration, scandal going on in Muskegon County. It's like, why isn't this Muskegon County prosecutor working on the GBI Strategies story? Well,
that is a good question. And of course, all the corruption surrounded him and his city and county there. So what's he doing over here? The state police said all the problem was in his county, that they covered up all the corruption and got in the witness and everything else. And she got how much money? I don't know how much money she got. She got a big payment for this election fraud, and then she whistleblew, And so the state police had a real whistleblower on their hands, and was thwarted by their state police chief and this prosecutor who's deep in this. I mean, let the cards fall where they lay, but we'll see.
Gateway Pundit was the one that broke that story on GBI, and it's been a couple of years ago. I mean, and there were like gift cards involved and,
Of course.
and weapons. And,
Oh, no weapon, Jesus, that's
And-
crazy.
they got to the point where there's like more voters than there are, or, more registered voters than there are citizens kind of situation here.
Oh, it's way worse. I didn't go into like 10 of the stories. There was 120,000 votes that she has now removed, duplicate votes, and now she won't give up the evidence of these votes that she took out. And I mean, there's all these cases in Michigan right now, and Patrick Kolbeck is really on it. We got a couple.
Oh, yeah, he's
good,
great. Patrick
yeah,
Kolbeck's
he's great.
great.
He's on this story. Patrick Kolbeck, you get him on. I get him on X.
Right, yeah, I was gonna look up
But
his
there's,
ex right
there's
now.
an Eric Nesbitt. There's a bunch of people in Michigan that are breaking stories all over now. You know what I mean? And so it's starting to be an avalanche. And of course, President Trump has his own back channel payments, and I guess that's what it comes down to is follow the money. It's always going to be follow the money. So we followed the money, for Gretchen Whitmer's $306,000 to connect. We'd like an explanation where that, what that's all about.
This is
So-
him, right? I hope I got the right Patrick
Yeah,
Kolbeck
yeah.
up there.
Patrick Kolbeck, yeah, he's excellent.
Author of the 2020 Coup, What Happened, What Can We Do, and Wrestling Gators, an Outsider's Guide to Draining the Swamp. Yeah, please, if you're on Twitter, give a follow to Patrick Kolbeck.
Yeah, he'll keep you pretty up on the story in Naked Truth News, and
We'll bring up his website here too.
there's other stories breaking on this within the House Republicans. They're starting some things.
Up
So
to your mic. Go up to your mic.
Yeah, so
there
it's
you go.
starting. It's
I'll lower you
it's
now.
definitely starting to break in Michigan, and of course we know that Michigan and Illinois were going to be really the two frontline battles. Really, is the front lines.
I think the prosecutor might just throw this out. It's just like too much heat.
The judge should have thrown it out. I mean, he had a chance, to like walk away and get the stink off of it. Just like you said, I got to get rid of this case. Get rid of this case. It's like he should have just thrown it out. I don't know who twisted his arm to keep it forward, but this is a dead end train right here. So, the problem is in Michigan is the Supreme Court is also highly corrupted. Let's be honest. And so, even if it's appealed, if it gets to the Supreme Court, they're gonna, no matter, they'll just make up law. There's no, what did that Supreme Court does to say? She goes by her feelings, not by the law. So, okay.
So that's a violation of oath of office.
Just to
right
say that should be a violation of the law.
Well, here's so this is an article from Harry the Greek. Of course, Harry the Greek got us started on this case. Feels like Harry is over there in Cleveland. Greg usually goes and visits once a week over there. So for folks who know and love Harry and have seen him through the years, that's usually how Greg and Craig do it. They kind of swing through the studio, hang with us at the studio on their way either to or from visiting Harry. So he's either.
Well, I was hoping to get Harry, but he's not on this.
Well, in general, though, they're
If
usually
we
swinging
can.
through
We
once
try
a
to get
week.
to him as much as we can.
But Harry's over there in Cleveland, but it feels like he's almost like a Michigan correspondent these days because there's been so much
Yeah,
Michigan news and so much drama with our elections, and
it's all about
and
Michigan.
he's been on it. But this is certainly Harry's website, Stephanie Lambert trial, starting July 14th. We'll probably do another Harry story here. Or did you guys have?
CCP bioweapons story at University of Michigan. Now that I picked on Michigan State, now I could go on and on and on. What happened to Michigan State and Lansing? It's not even the same school. It's devastated.
Is that this one
It
here?
is
This
just-
is this
yeah.
story that just broke, or
The University of Michigan, the labs. I think we may have done that a little bit last time. All the the bioweapons lab at the University of Michigan. All the professors, all the alumni, none are American at all. They're all from Shandong, China. University, professors from Shandong, the complete biotech program at the University of Michigan, which is a nice name for bioweapons. And then we just caught, as you probably saw on the national news, 2 Chinese students from the University of Michigan caught with a bioweapon that would wipe out all our corn crops in America. Houston, I think we have a problem. Okay. And then, this is not just here. It's a lot of the universities across America. And, my University of Valparaiso, all these universities, it's just what's happened in this, this whole indoctrination era as opposed to education era. So I do have a student, B, as we get to the more relaxed part of the show, we're going to talk to my fellow student B. I'm going to call him today. And we're going to go into some great links and portals for young people looking to learn about new things.
okay. Well,
Besides these things.
so Harry just broke a story. Actually, is breaking news. This looks like it just got published on Harry's website just in time for the show. Pentagon ignores cloud leaks from the Library of Congress and connects Eugene Yu in Malaysia. So Eugene Yu in Malaysia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is unaware of the security leaks in the Pentagon's new cloud internet network in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It connects to the United Nations. Details are in this story. So we've got this coming across from Harry. I guess you're on your way over there to get the lowdown on
Well,
this
we
one,
were
huh?
going to, but he's got a medical situation got to deal. But
What do you know about this story? You can tell us, I guess. Anything?
yeah,
read it?
so remember, this is Eugene Yu and Mike Lee, and what's the other partner's name from California too?
Well, yeah.
Anyway, so that's where he fled in the end. The FBI did get him out. He winds up in Malaysia. And this is kind of like, remember what we had down in Atlanta with all that great work Amber Connor did in the Carter Center and all that at Neighborhood News Studio. Great stuff to go back and study. But it's the same thing where the United Nations controls the world and all the voting and all the voting machines. And it's this great globalist. And this, the CCP is serious about this stuff. They're not playing. They're in here changing our elections and buying up our farmland. You saw President Trump now 80% of our 8% of the whole, of the 80% of our American hogs. Bill Gates bought them, sold them to the CCP. CCP controls your farms. CCP controls all our bioengineering, bioeducation here in America. It's not just at Michigan and Michigan State. Look across the country. You guys have been to Texas. You guys have been to North Carolina. You guys have been to Gainesville. So yeah, this is a big problem. We're at war. Okay. We've been invaded and we're at war. It's just, they don't kill people with bombs anymore. They can kill you with a fungus or a bioweapon or whatever. So, I mean, we have to treat this like war, and I'm sorry, but my advice is send them all out. I'm sorry, all the Chinese professors and the students do probably at this point, because during a time of war, you have to. Because this is coming to full scale. What did the Secretary of Defense say? I'm coming home to fight the Chinese Communist Party at home. This is war, it's just a different kind of war, That's my opinion.
Any comments from anybody else? Mark?
Right. Yeah.
Right on, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, well, so we got Eugene Yu in Malaysia. That's a couple of Harry articles, and we got Stephanie Lambert trial here in Michigan. What else did you guys want to get to today? Did you keep doing
Yeah, well, there's
another topic, I think. Yeah.
What about the flood in Texas?
He was talking about flood. I didn't know. I'm not up on the flood, but yeah. Oh, the big floods. I thought you were going to say the tunnel. Yeah, geez. And then bioengineering. Okay, so that's a great topic. Okay, because I said all along it would have to be MAHA, an EPA to get after these chemtrails, weather control, bioengineering, DARPA projects. And I think that's really the way to go about it, because you can't really say that it's okay to put barium and aluminum, into the air for us to breathe when we've already tied it to, Alzheimer's, which we see on the rise, and all these different things. So for the first time, they're admitting that they spray chemtrails and do weather modification. And the new head of the EPA did a hell of a video. Did you see that? Oh, yeah. So there's a new sheriff in town and all that stuff. But
the head of the EPA did a video, you're saying?
Well, why do you
Okay.
think get rid of all the factories because of the air pollution? Moved all these jobs out because, all the filth that these smokestacks are pouring into the air. And it's almost like, well, now that there's no smokestacks pouring shit in the air, they got to go up an airplane and pour it out that way. It's
and of course, I think it's a little disingenuous. Maybe they were saying, like, you should really take your factories to Mexico and China where there's no environmental standards, and you'll be able to produce our parts cheaper. You know what I mean? Like the big three, my brother-in-law, all production must move to Mexico. And he said, I'll retire. I'm not going to go down there and get digital chips when I'm kidnapped and all that stuff. He said, you know what? I'd rather, he took another company, another direction, but it was basically that you had to leave Michigan. You had to leave America if you wanted to do business with the big three. So when the big three cries about these tariffs, I'm like, it's your fault. You made everybody move to Mexico. You made everybody move to China. So I don't want to hear them crying about it. You know what I mean? But that's probably the biggest reason, because they forced all our industries out to overseas. I mean, that's really, it was just another part of this bigger plan by the globalists, you know, and to get their products cheaper, you know.
This is Lee Zeldin. I like him. He used to be on the Wilcow show. He used to appear on there, and he ran for office. I don't think he won, but he ran for Congress in New York. Which it's like, yeah, I mean, you're
You
a
can play that
Republican.
if you want, and he pretty much sizes the whole thing up.
Yeah, I got him on mute. Here, we'll play this. This is a
Go ahead,
2 minute.
play that.
This is actually a 3-minute video. So we'll play this. Everybody here can
This
freshen
kinda
their
sums it
coffee
up
if they'd
pretty
like.
quick. He's had the EPA telling you so.
Yeah, so we'll play this, and we'll continue on after this. Mark, if you want to hear it, you got to put those headphones on, or just listen, you know, as it is.
Urgent and important questions about
Administrator
geoengineering
Lee Zeldin,
and
United States
contrails.
Environmental.
The American public deserves and expects honesty
Hear it?
and transparency from their government when seeking answers. But for years, people who asked questions in good faith were dismissed, even vilified by the media and their own government. That era is over. The Trump EPA is committed to total transparency. As a result, I tasked my team at EPA to compile a list of everything we know about contrails and geoengineering for the purpose of releasing it to you now publicly. In other words, I want you to know everything I know about these topics, and without any exception. Instead of simply dismissing these questions and concerns as baseless conspiracies, we're meeting them head on. We did the legwork, looked at the science, consulted agency experts, and pulled in relevant outside information to put these online resources together. Everything we know about contrails to solar geoengineering will be in there. That means that anyone who reads through this information will know as much about these topics as I do as EPA administrator. To anyone who's ever looked up to the streaks in the sky and asked, what the heck is going on? Or seen headlines about private actors and even governments looking to blot out the sun in the name of stopping global warming? We've endeavored to answer all of your questions at the links on your screen. In fact, EPA shares many of the same concerns when it comes to potential threats to human health and the environment, especially from solar geoengineering activities. The enthusiasm for experiments that would pump pollutants into the high atmosphere has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up. This is what it looks like when government actually listens to the will of the people and doesn't try to squash it. You can always trust this administration and this EPA to take your concerns seriously, answer your questions honestly, and carry out the will of voters with integrity.
Wow, well, we wouldn't have got that from Kamala Harris's EPA, I don't think.
No.
That was refreshing, huh? What do you think, Mark?
It sure was refreshing. And it's so great. You know, it's a great time to be alive last 6 months. I have to keep such a merry, happy heart because I see all the things that we all wanted to talk about for the last forever. You know, I mean, like all the stuff we complained about our whole life, and now someone's doing something about it. So, yeah, but ramping that into another environmental story, Naked Truth News. You could look this one up. If you can, go ahead and look it up. But
okay, Naked Truth, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I'll find the story for you. But what we're talking about here.
Oh, I got them here. Just watch on the
Okay.
screen. Yeah,
I had the title on there. But anyway,
I'll scroll. You tell me when to stop. Everyone can see all the great
CME
stories.
in the scroll. CME, talking about the environment. This is the biggest concern that we have right now. The biggest thing is, you know, talking about looking up in the sky and seeing chemtrails, which he calls contrails. There's a difference. But when you look up and see beautiful lights in the sky every night, and then you see that the sun is smiling because a big chunk came off of it. We've been trying to get this message out for the last 3 years. The top 19 scientists at NASA signed a letter And basically we need to address a situation where we can prevent global CME, think EMP event, which would knock out everything on Earth with electricity with a foot longer than a 4-foot cord, okay, for probably 3 to 4 years, which most of our farming, most of our food is all done through computers, AI, electronics, electronic equipment. This is a very big situation. So I'm getting this out to my important contacts. Hopefully I didn't wait too long in the show and I gave up. But we have the solution. We just need to send a satellite making machine, basically, and it sends out 186,000 satellites to the F1. And it opens up like an umbrella, and it allows us to look back at Earth. It has all kinds of multi-functions. It's a very low-cost situation. It'll cost exactly $1 billion, which is almost nothing to save the planet. And we're hoping that someone that, like Elon Musk, that wants to go to a rock out there in the middle of nowhere might consider saving Earth in the meantime, because he's one of the people that could do it, And we also have Craig Bergling here, the man who finished Nikola Tesla's work and has brought us all these wonderful things like Star Trek technology, advanced. Let me show them the advanced first aid.
Oh, yeah.
In case you didn't see it last time, this is one of the Tesla technologies
I thought you
that Craig Bergling has brought to the planet, the Age of Aquarius technologies that we need the planet Earth to have. Okay, so this ends 99% of all soft tissue medical conditions. Okay, cancer, COPD, COVID,
loss of
hearing loss. We've had probably 50 people and dogs, never missed. We're batting 1,000 in 10 years against every soft tissue medical condition known to man, dog, or animal. So there are no pills, there are no vaccines, there are no needles, and most surgeries are obsolete. That's just a fact, because you can biotune your organs back to your 20-year-old, regenerate them to 20-year-old healthy tissue. My hair was all gray 10 years ago, but working on my face, it goes through my hair. Yeah, everyone's like, people, they love it too. Like, oh, you're all gray. They love it when you turn gray. They're like, oh, you'll be bald soon too. Yes, we love seeing you get older.
You're the sexiest guys to
Look,
visit
Mom,
this-
I've got my 18-year-old hair back. They're like, what the? We were convinced. And of course, I don't use hair dye. So anyway, so yeah, these are the things that happen. But we did a beautiful video on Love Tour X the other day that, I'm on the spiritual side, and Harry's also on the spiritual side. So we go into that a lot. And what my student Baron B also is very much interested in the spiritual side of things. So we have a lot to discuss on that side. But I was very happy to Bones let me heal a blind sparrow out the other day that flew into me. So I thought that was cool. Wasn't it? And it was cool because there is a spiritual significance of the sparrow. And it's like Jesus told the people, said, look, a sparrow does not fall from a tree that the Father does not know. So he knew the little sparrow was blind and he had to find us, And so he also knows your suffering and those sorts of things. So we go into that sometime. I know I always make people nervous when I hit the spiritual side. If my politics don't scare you, my personal relationship, God probably will. It's just something you'll have to deal with.
That's right. That's
So-
right. That is so
But I do
right.
not preach, but I testify. I testify like a maniac, but I do not preach.
I like that. Here, I'm looking for the sparrow video. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, the sparrow's amazing because he's blind and he's just letting it drinking up the holy wave. This technology comes from the Great Pyramids and all the math from the Great Pyramids, but explains all the numbers in the Bible and what our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was doing and saying when he said things like Peter caught 153 fish in an energy net, or he turns water to wine. He also made me a bottle of olive oil, but I won't bring it up because it made George real nervous last week. But he turns water to wine. He does all these things. This is in this science. Anything that can become anything, and that basically this is the same science. I'm turning cancer into a healthy cell, or I'm turning an old deteriorated. Basically, it's just atomic spin. That's all it is. It's just your atomic.
Transmutation? Is that a transmutation?
No, it's really just atomic spin, just restoring your atomic order.
Okay.
Because as we travel through time, it damages us, man. We're getting bam, bam, bam. Every second you're traveling through time like a loaf of bread, you see.
Yeah.
And it starts to slow down your atoms and start aging. So all you have to do is respin your atoms to restore and it just generates young, healthy tissue over again. You know, we were talking today, and I Bones is Larry. Tell him what his Gemini heard us talking, and they said, "Biotune your kidney," because I wanted my kidneys biotuned. I have to keep my kidneys biotuned.
You
And it
put the
said-
thing on the bird.
And the Gemini speaks back. Well, that's impossible. You can tune a pipe organ, but what you do with a kidney is two things: you put them on dialysis or you cut them out. I was like, what? No, you don't cut them out. You don't put them on dialysis. Please, you know. I don't want mine to ever go that way. And they were totally infected, but I take care of them. You know, I don't eat right. You know, I could do better, but I've retuned myself to keep things well. You know, so yeah, this is the future, and this is only one of the Tesla sciences. Obviously, everything that Elon Musk ever did just became obsolete overnight with the next generation, which is called RF harvesting computer chips. Then you could run your car or your home lease unit to have free energy. RF harvesting your phones, your computers. We're all chasing the cord. You know, so there's this whole level of production. Home lease units produced in Michigan at all our factories. You know, free energy is free, but you still have someone to maintain the unit and take care of it. So you lease them a unit, $50 a month, all the electricity you want. You know, things like this. Technology is the future. We have so many. Reverse osmosis pipelines.
If we would have got Kamala Harris, her EPA would have come after you for doing this to the sparrow.
Oh, I'm
playing the sparrow on the TV,
and it up. Like when you think like putting a big giant thing in his face,
it is pretty wild. I mean, most
because
sparrows
you put something in something's face. I don't care what it is, especially it's blind.
I have to add to the sparrow story.
It's on the screen. Folks are watching. I don't have the volume on, but folks are watching the sparrow.
So as
the sparrow here,
as
yeah.
He's rejuvenating the eyesight of the sparrow jumps on his index finger and sits there, and he carries it over to the lawn and carefully puts it into the grass, and then the sparrow takes a couple steps and flies off.
Yeah, that's it. But see, the thing is, he's blind right here. If you look real close, he can't open his eyes. That's why he flew into my leg. I'm not real observant, so God has to that happens with people. Rambling Jack, 1 million people just have to run me over. I run into him, I bump into him. I'm like, oh, there you are, because I'm real absent-minded professor, right? So, the bird flew into my leg, and I'm like, oh, that's soft. That's a soft bird. It's a really soft bird, I'm like, oh, hi, bird. And then the lady comes out. He's blind, and his nestmate has already died. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I'm like, Bones is inside in the hotel, and I'm trying to call. He's not answering. I'm like, now I got the bird outside, Bones inside. The hotel lady's like, I'm going to find Bones. So I'm going to save this bird. So finally, I get Bones, and the bird is just blind. He's looking at me like, I can't see, okay. And he wants to he would have my foot, but then I try to pick him up, and he try to fly, but he's like, I can't fly blind, so he go about 3 feet, and all right, I got a problem here. I'm not flying blind, so here we have him here, and he's totally well already. I over zapped him here to tell you the truth, But,
it is pretty amazing.
Yeah, watch
that
him
the bird doesn't go
look,
anywhere. I mean,
right,
that is
watch him just look. He's feeling it is what it is right now.
That is.
I just wonder even if he hurt hit his neck, because now he's turning his head hit my neck, will you? The birds are smart. But now watch, it's he was he's totally swollen shut, his eyes. I don't know if maybe pesticides or something.
It really jumped on your finger. Oh,
yeah,
look at
so there he is. He hops on my finger. So now he's talking to me. He's like, I can carry him all day now because he's so high on the love wave. He's like, yeah, wherever you want to do, bro. I'm feeling really good. So
Greg sends me his videos when he does them. He texts them to me, and I told him when he got here, I was like, I don't think we're going to play the sparrow video, just because I didn't think it was going to come up. But here we are in the middle of the show, and you're all getting the sparrow video.
Tesla technology, and you're seeing it because it works on dogs. We've done lots and lots of horses, dogs, blind dogs, arthritic dogs. I mean, every kind of human condition, dog condition, cat condition, because we're all one, and that's what the science shows. Okay. That God is in every atom. This is the science of Jesus, and that you really, once things are restored atomically, then the soft tissue just fixes itself. Watch this bird eye. There's not a drop of infection left in this eye. Watch him look at me right here.
This is your disclaimer that nobody here is a doctor. Please consult your doctor for medical.
No, we're not medical.
But
because you know why? We're not in them because we don't use medicine and we don't practice. So we don't practice medicine. We're batting 1,000 in 10 years. We're definitely not practicing with no side effects, and we don't use medicine. So how could we be practicing?
Oh, there he
medicine?
goes. There he goes. Look at him. He flew away.
Yeah, he did. He flew great, too, didn't he? Yeah. I was like, maybe I should have petted him a little more, but he was so excited to get on the road.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
pretty.
so-
That's a pretty great video, actually.
Wasn't
I'm
it? Yeah,
surprised.
because and then being a native, so I have to find out the meaning of everything. So I'm like, well, what is it with sparrows? So I go to the Bible. And I'm like, oh, sparrows, yeah, cool. So this is a lesson in this too, because this is Harry the Greek. Let's take a call from Harry. Why don't you say hello? We've got Harry the Greek on here.
Live,
Harry the Greek.
live. Harry the Greek, everyone. Harry the Greek live.
Yeah, we're live now.
You got to
You're
put him
live.
on speaker. You got to put him on speaker there. Put him
Let's
on speaker.
Hold on. Say
Put him
hello,
on
Harry.
speaker.
I just posted a story about Eugene Yu and the Pentagon's cloud project in Malaysia. And guess where Secretary of State Marco Rubio is right now?
Where?
Malaysia.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
And the Pentagon did not tell him what's going on with Eugene Yu or their cloud project there.
I didn't realize.
Well,
that.
we're going to back channel this to some important people today. Don't worry. We got a whole bunch on my list here of people that are right up there at the top. We'll get it to them. So it's always about getting the news out. We don't get a lot of views, but the views we get are important views because you got to know people. Hey,
I'm trying to work on a bunch of stories. I'm still going to work on that story with Chief Justice John Roberts. Within 1 week in May, from like May 5th to May 12th, he went from May 5th, he said that the judiciary is a co-equal branch of government to, no, we're not. The executive branch of Congress supersede the judiciary. And I got it in writing from him and stories that he's written. So I want people to be aware of that.
Well, John Roberts, he said, was the lead attorney for Reagan that decided the Supreme Court case, right? That
Immigration.
on immigration, right? That Trump has 100% authority. Roberts, now of course they reaffirmed that the last couple cases too, but
That's any connection with Roberts and his change of heart with Epstein? Did Epstein have anything to do with this? Release of information there. I can't find any pictures of Roberts, but I can doggone find his opinions online.
well, there was a John Roberts that did fly on the Lolita Express, but we cannot prove it's the same John Roberts. But his name is in the flight log. I will
There's
say
a
that.
John
So
Roberts from CBS News.
it could be him too, So
Yeah,
we can't say, we don't want to say we can't prove. But one thing about Naked Truth News and everything, we prove everything we say. So
Yeah, well, we try, that's for sure.
You know.
Anyway,
That's a pretty
I
common
want to
name
bring that
too.
to attention. Eugene Yu got transferred 3 years ago from Lansing, Michigan, after he successfully stole the elections in Michigan in 2020 and 2022. Guess who reassigned him to work on this cloud project in Malaysia? Guess who his employer was since he entered this country? Just take a guess.
State Department.
Mark Elias.
State Department.
Homeland Security. They reassigned him.
Oh, Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, he was a Chinese spy brought in specially for the elections.
By Homeland Security.
Yeah, Homeland Security. And before he got arrested, they got him the hell out of Dodge with a $5 million check in his hand that he got January 23rd last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snapping all the way. And on top of my story, there's Eugene Yu waving his $5 million check at the cameras.
Brassballs.blog, nakedtruth.news. Yep.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
All right, I'm exhausted. I gotta eat dinner. Well, you got any questions for me?
Well, there's so many stories. Were there any other stories besides that Robert story that you wanted to, is there any other ones that you wanted to highlight today? I was just starting to talk about the getting to the CME situation and environment and
Well, hit that one hard. No, CME is very important.
okay.
I work on a bunch of stories every day. Most of them, that I worked on in July, just I can't verify or I prove them to be false. So that I gotta work on other stuff. And today, I just can't keep up with everything. I saw that.
Right. So
I got a YouTube video sent to me from Google of all people about Mario Rubio's trip to Malaysia. And I said, oh, let me see what he's talking about. And sure enough, he's not talking about this, you know?
No. Well, we'll try and get this out to the right people and see if we can get some people on this. So,
All right, love you guys.
love you too, Harry.
Thanks, Harry. Talk to you soon.
All right, so
There
there's
you
Harry.
go. Yeah, wow.
So yeah,
Live
it's just,
action.
there's so many stories at Naked Truth News, and you go and it's got a great search engine, you know. So what I'm telling is a lot of people that want to, you know, find something. We always go there and hit the search engine and see what you got on it. You know, I know one of my students was talking about General Flynn, and it's like, oh my God, we got so many stories on Flynn, you don't understand. So does Neighborhood News Studio.
Well,
By-
you can
by
so
that.
you can support Harry at the bottom of every article. There, you can do a one-time donation or a monthly donation to.
He lives
Harry's
on
blog.
Social Security, and he buys all the court records himself. You know, tons and tons of court records. He's got to pay for these things. So
Absolutely.
always help Harry if you can.
What do you think? Any more stories that you guys want to cover this evening? One or two more, or
Well, on the Naked
what do you
Truth
think?
side,
or just anything, you know, anything in
yeah, we're
America.
not finished here. You know, you can't shut me up that easy.
Mark, you got any before, or just let them keep rolling, huh? Let them keep rolling. All right, keep rolling. What do you got? Yeah, what do you think?
So yeah, so that's what it is for the students, because we're really about the students, and of course we have all the music from Motown, MC5. We got all the funk now with Lonnie Motley, all the great, you know, living legends of Motown, all this great music and all that stuff at Love Tour Greg on X and AmericanWatersays.com and all that stuff. But you know, we really have to. We've talked about the CME a little bit, so we really need to get that information to. You know, all of our contacts and see if we can get possibly this individual who went to work at NASA at age 13. His father was JFK's man in the top special access programs. So when they used to come in with a book with keys on both sides, it's intelligence, and two guys with two keys could open it and he could read it. Okay, that's our top secret, right?
Wow.
Then they would put keys on it and lock it back up and take it away. Only problem is he went blind. And the only person they could think of, because they can't get it from a second hand, was his 13-year-old son, who has an IQ of 186 and started reading computer code as a storybook at age 7 and invented his first laser weapon when he was about 7. I mean, this kid was monster genius as a child. So they read him in, brought him into NASA, and he invented a lot of these things, real-time satellite imaging, and direct energy weapons and Star Wars for Reagan and all these things. But he saw the corrupt Nazi agenda that's moved into our agencies. So we need him back to stop these CMEs and to bring some order to some of the things going on at DARPA and at NASA. He's someone we can trust, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. You can trust him to the bone. You can trust him with your life, you know. And so he's a very amazing guy. He played football for Bobby Bowden for a year. Fastest white guy he said he ever saw. Became somewhat of an overweight computer geek. Okay. But also recorded steel wheels for the Rolling Stones. Invented the most incredible sound equipment. Did the TV special for Eric Clapton with, was that Chuck Berry, one of those. Anyway, Bob Marley records, all that stuff. That was side work. So extremely interesting guy. Balomni on my Patreon, BALLOMNI. So he's one of our educational. When you want to ask something about the weather or geomorphology or the sun, you go to the smartest guy. Okay, and there's the smartest guy. If you want to citizen journalism, you go to nakedtruth.news. You go to Real George Webb 1, right?
Yep.
On
bring him up here,
Substack
yeah.
or Twitter.
Mhm.
You know, you always go to the smartest people. Now, one of my students was asking about the Masons and World War I and who was behind it and the Vatican and all that stuff. And I said, you got to go to history class with Macduff Lives, John O'Glockman. We, of course, support John and all his history teaching. But this was all stuff he would cover, the Martin Clan of the Masons backing Hitler and the Vatican, 1928, and the Pope and Mussolini and the ordaining Hitler and all that stuff. So I don't try not to teach their class. I just I'm the librarian. That's all I am. You want to know what I do? I'm the librarian. Okay. You want to know where to go? You come to me. Elon Musk wants Tesla science. You want to get away from solar and wind, which are obsolete, and RF harvesting and medical that ends every medical condition known to man, reverse osmosis pipelines. How about telecom off 5 satellites with harmless frequencies covers the entire earth, water, and land, runs off 3 laptops, and there's no more 5G. I've had it for 20 years. I don't know who these idiots are, but this is the dumbest thing I ever seen was 5G. It was obsolete 20 years ago. All the phone code is written for every phone on the whole planet Earth, already written. Okay? So, we've got to get into, age of Aquarius technologies. Jesus does not want to come back to a planet run by 5G or this medical industry. And these are what, Jesus wants to, Jesus isn't going to fix the world. We're going to fix the world with Jesus. Okay. And then we'll be so much better for it. And we'll understand each other for it. This is the way I see it, and he's already here. So let's get moving to making the age of Aquarius Earth without war, free energy from free energy tyranny, free medical tyranny, and reverse osmosis pipelines. We have endless food, water for 3 times this planet. Symbiotic, organic, across Africa, up from the Sonoran through the Mojave, the top half of we have endless everything. A beautiful Garden of Eden planet. Doesn't that sound better? And since we have all the technology already, can we get moving on this, please? As soon as we stop the CME.
A bounty awaits, huh? Mark, what do you think? A bounty awaits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's better than Earth Abides, I can tell you that. I remember that book. That one affected me.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got a few in the live chat. Thank you all for being here. Arthur, Black Rabbit, the Mobsterful, Jason, thank you all for being here. Thanks to our viewers. Definitely Neighborhood News Studios, chugging along one step at a time here, trying to get a few shows under our belt, building with everybody here. So I don't know, you guys want to close it out? We're almost at an hour. Any final comments? Anything? Greg will probably, Greg visits regularly, irregularly. Greg and Craig here. That once every couple weeks we see them. They come give us an update from Naked Truth and Harry. So
you know what it is,
don't
right?
know.
Because when you follow the Lord, if I ever make any plan at all, it's definitely out the window. And the guy says, "No, you follow my will." That must have been something you thought of. So I thought, Harry, he got on the plane to get you. If you see my pinned video at Love Tour Greg on X, that's the most impressive. Not the most impressive, but it's impressive. Harry had one leg for 7 years. He had a giant cancer tumor removed. And so he woke up, his femoral nerve was damaged or cut. They said it was missing for 20 inches. I don't know. But Dennis Machine Gun Thompson, our most beloved rock and roll person in Michigan, was supposed to be on the plane for the second time to get his RF because he knows what I say is true. He's been my brother. He's like a blood brother to me. Him and Rob are both my blood brothers. So he couldn't get on the plane because he was too sick. So I called Harry. I said, "Harry, you want to get on the plane?" Harry said, "I'm on the plane." I said, "Harry, you broke your neck. You fell down 38 times. You broke your shoulder twice. You can't move your neck. That is no problem." I said, "A leg that's not worked 7 years." I said, "I can't make any promises." He said, "I don't care. I don't care." I said, "Well, okay, hop on the plane." Well, I'll be darned. He was walking an inch at a time, a lot worse than he was when we did the videos in Cleveland. But you see him today, he's almost 100%. I mean, he said he just went to I saw him tell the story. He just went to his grandson's football game and sat on the bottom, the first row of the bleachers. It's like real low. And he was able to get right back up, And so when you fall down all the time, you can't get off a toilet, you can't get off a chair. Having one leg sucks. I took care of a one-legged guy for over a year. So, and he's a big guy, and he'd fall and we both go. So, I understand completely the frustration of how hard it is to have one leg. So show some love. And this is the video he's playing here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's had 5 or 6 treatments, and we're still batting 1,000 against every soft tissue medical condition known to man, even that. So, but that is amazing, and we're so happy. And he runs all around his house, hops all around now. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking care of Harry. Thanks for making him feel better, so he can bring us the blog.
Yeah,
I'm sure what he would want
bring
us.
us your broken bird. We'll fix it.
I'm sure what he'd want us to say is to be sure to highlight his blog at Naked Truth News, and that Marco Rubio, to tell the folks out there, Marco Rubio, while you're in Malaysia, don't just do what your handlers have told you to do. Check out Eugene Yu. Ask Eugene Yu to go to lunch or dinner while you're over in Malaysia, maybe. But you can run that down while you're over there, Marco. Yeah, I was going to play one of your little videos on your Twitter there on the way out,
sure.
From Love Tour Greg. So if you're on Twitter, please subscribe or follow Greg on Twitter. He is Love Tour Greg. And of course, also Harry the Greek. I had Harry the Greek's Twitter up there earlier. So do follow both of those guys, please. And yeah, I don't know. Closing remarks. Anybody over there on the side mic or side mics?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's good to be here again, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody's, we love when folks stop by here. I'll read the comment. The solar cycle intensity flux cause problems with animal electric systems. Cardio. Think bone. The fault is in our stars. Does that make sense? Do you follow? Yeah, no.
Not really, no, but it all just comes down to frequencies from the earth that gave you life, that give you procreation, that give you all the things that you have. And so it's really just, as a Native American, it's just getting with earth and the frequencies that you need to keep you healthy and keep you young.
We were all once subatomic. Is that?
Well, I tell a story in the video about Jesus, when he was a child, made little birds out of clay, and then he breathed the breath of life into them, and they flew away. So
Really?
yeah.
That's in the Bible. I missed that.
Well, no, that's like one of those lost stories. But
What's that, sir? Was that?
No, that's just a story, but no, it does show, and it's in the science that basically anything can become anything. It's just easier to make wine out of water than it is out of dirt, but it's all frequencies.
Blind lemon chitlin. That was with the bird video there. Thanks for being here, Thermobsterful. Coronal magnetic hole stream foil blanket question mark. H3O2 layers. I don't follow that there. What is that?
Well, we had a modeling, but I would take all your questions to Balamni, because anything you ask, he's always interactive. He'll talk to you, and he answers all questions. So all you people who are smarter than me, which is almost everyone, should really go over there and talk to him about any science questions about the stratosphere or the sun or geomorphology or the weather. He's a wealth of information on those subjects, and
fair enough. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, please check out Greg. Check out Harry. Here, I'll put Naked Truth News out here one more time. Naked Truth News. And of course, if you want to meet up with Greg and Craig, they will be at the Stephanie Lambert trial Monday morning, 8:30, bright and early. We do hope the best for Stephanie Lambert. We think that this trial is a bunch of BS. I think it's a bunch of BS, at least. It's like you hire the lady to audit the machines, and now you're going to arrest her and charge her for touching the machines that you hired her to audit. Like, what are we even talking about here? This is crazy. But such is the state of affairs in the People's Republic of Michigan. And that's how we roll, or how it's rolling. So we try to fight back the best we can. But definitely wish the best for Stephanie Lambert. Super glad you guys will be able to be there. And yeah, I'll play on the way out here. We got a video of Greg here on the way out from his Twitter channel. And we'll see you all next time. And thanks again for being here.
To run our homes, we can make units. This is manufacturing Michigan, okay? We can make all the units here. We have the hub. We got to get back our universities and get back real research. Instead of researching tyranny, is what all they do. Everything they're putting money into research is all garbage. It's time to put the money in these universities and researching something valuable, okay? And construct them. They can be making helmets with advanced first aid RF, and then in concussions, there's a zillion different things they can do, okay? But what they do now is nothing. And then they steal all our technology, Eugene Yu and Donna Wang and the CCP. And all these bots on Twitter, by the way, on X, they're all CCP bots that are harvesting your personal information, so that you see today 1 million people were defrauding Medicaid with stolen identities by the CCP. And who's all over, I follow them all back because I want to follow these trolls. But that's who's stealing our identities on. So we become a crime scene over here on X, okay? Between that and the fake Elons and good Lord knows what else, people in Nigeria defrauding, stealing identities, scams, trolls. Can we clean up the platform, please? So anyway, you've already won, Elon. All you got to do is go to Tesla Technologies and Age of Aquarius Technologies, and you doge the whole planet forever until the end of time, much bigger than a stupid bill.
Doge the whole planet?
Anything else,
nice,
okay?
Man.
Every country in the whole world from now until the end of time. How much longer are you going to live? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? Well, think about your eternal future, okay? Because at the end of our lives, we play the movie back. What did we accomplish? What did we do? What do we feel bad about? What we wish we had done differently? This is your wine the road, brother. You can either head to Tesla Technologies and away from Edison and Rockefeller and tyranny, or into freedom, and you win the Doge War once and for all and forever. So that's basically it. Wouldn't you agree, Bones?
I agree.
You know, so that's my 2 minutes take. Read the thread.
We don't need all this medical.
No, there's about $2 trillion in cost every year, and just in America and the whole world. And when you end pills, vaccines,
Unnecessary.
bureaucracy, buildings, I mean, infrastructure, the whole thing. Okay, it's disruptive, sure, but it's disruptive in a good way, because now you have freedom, and 99% of the time you won't need to go to a doctor, because you'll be able to resolve your own soft tissue issue through atomic science, biotuning and atomic science, make your cancer go away or whatever. It defeats the deep state. There's no other way to defeat the deep state. There's no other way to Doge, for crying out loud. Okay? Peace and love, AmericanWatersheds.com.
See the